This video is about my favorite book that I have ever read in my life so far. A book that's changed my life, and a book that's changed the way I think, the way I believe. It's changed my whole life. And running into this book, sorry, my dog's over there. I ran into this book. It's pretty funny. Like, my story is pretty weird how I ran into this book. Okay, I didn't just find this book. It's called, let me tell you what the book is called. It's called Conversations with God, an Uncommon Dialogue by Neale Donald Walsch. Mr. Neale Donald Walsch. Great guy, man. I don't even know what to say about him. You know, he's just, look him up. Look him up, man. One day I would love to meet him. I would love to meet Neale Donald Walsch. This is it, man. This is my favorite book. A book that has shaped my life, changed my life. I'm not trying to sell this book. You can buy it if you want to. This is book one. But how I ran into this book, it's crazy. I was a mover at the time. I was moving people's homes. You know, a mover. I got paid like $9.50 an hour at that job. Sucky job, terrible job. Sometimes I ask God why I was working that job. It sucked so bad. I didn't know why I worked that job until I read this fucking book, until I ran into this motherfucker. This baby. I love this book, dude. I love this book. Yeah, I hated that fucking job. It sucked so bad, dude. And have you ever been through something in life and you're like, what's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of me going through this? This was the purpose, man. I wasn't scheduled to move this lady, but they put me into this lady, and they said, hey Vincent, can you work this job? Can you do this one? They moved me to this lady. This lady was tatted up like me. This lady was tatted up, and I was moving her stuff. I was packing her stuff, and I got stuck. I didn't get stuck. They put me in her bedroom. There's like, I don't know, there's like 6 of us, and I ended up in her bedroom, packing up her books, packing up her, I don't know, movies, and just, I was in the bedroom. That's where I ended up. I ended up at that job, in her room, and in that bedroom, and going through her books. I was looking at, let's see if I have my other book with me. Where's it at? I don't have it with me right now because I wasn't ready for it, but I was reading her, no, it's not here. I was reading her, it's called Earth Power. She had some spell books. She was I would say she was a witch. She had some spell books, or witchcraft books. That's what she had, were witchcraft books. And I think it was 2015 when I ran into this book. And I'm like, dude, this girl's a witch. You know, this girl's doing witchcraft. And I'm reading her books, and I'm so into her books, dude. I'm like, I dig this stuff, you know? This stuff is cool. Metaphysics, it arouses me, I guess. I don't know. I really do dig this stuff. And I was reading her books, and guess what, man? The lady popped up out of nowhere, of course. She popped up over my shoulder, and she saw me reading her books. I was reading this one. And she said, you know what? You can have it. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, you can have any book in there you want. I picked 2 books. I don't see it on my bookshelf. It's called Earth Power. Like a magic book, but a good magic using earth magic. And this one right here, baby, Conversations with God. Her name is Terry. I wish I can go back and tell her that this book changed my life. The book that she gave me. It wasn't even written to me. It's for Terry. Terry, happy birthday, girl. You are someone who I feel can truly appreciate the simple truths presented in this book. Enjoy. Michael? Michelle? I don't know. Michelle, you gave this book to me. Okay, let's get into what this book is about. It's about a guy named Neale Donald Walsch. And in his life, things weren't going for him. he ended up having like a neck problem, neck injury. He divorced his wife. He ended up in a tent. Lost his job because he was hurt. He was injured. He didn't have any money. He was broke. He was homeless. He was at the bottom. Neale Donald Walsch, at the bottom, and he's crying out to God, and he's like, "What can I do to make my life work? You know, what can I do to make this life work?" He's crying out to God, and God talks to him, speaks with him, and he has a conversation with God. As crazy as that sounds, and this book is an entire dialogue. It's a dialogue. Neale talking, God talking. Neale talking, God talking. Neale asking questions, God answering questions. And I'm like, I was a skeptic at first, and then I started reading the responses. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this, man. I've never seen things explained to me this way. What does he talk? He talks about everything in this book. He talks about hell. He talks about heaven, hell, how hell's not real. Can you imagine that? Let me throw some crazy things out there. How Hitler didn't go to hell. There's no such thing as hell. God doesn't judge. I don't believe in a hell. I don't believe in a God who judges. Let me tell you a little bit about my background before I go crazy into this. My parents, my dad was a preacher. Okay, my dad was a pastor. My dad was a fucking pastor, right? I was forced to go to church as a little kid. I was forced to walk around with a fake smile on my face every Sunday and pretend that I was perfect. I was a preacher's son. I was perfect. I had to walk around, and that's what I did. And I fucking hated it, man. I fucking hated it. My parents, they're very traditional, religious people. My family was religious, prayed before every meal. My dad, though, my dad was a pastor. He cheated on my mom many times. He would preach the word of God on Sundays and then come home and, I got a booger in my nose all the time, and then come home and mentally abuse us, man. Mentally abuse me. I mean, my dad's a pastor, right? Practice what you preach, you know what I'm saying? So growing up, I was really confused about religion. I was really confused about this God, you know. I was really confused about it. And this book explained to me. I was confused about it because religion tries to put fear in me, tries to put fear in you. It's fear-based. It's based off fear. I don't give a fuck what you say. It's based off fear. Religion says if you don't do this, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're going to hell. I don't care how good you are, you're going to hell. That's what religion I grew up in. The religion I grew up in, they said that God's love was unconditional. God's love is unconditional. There's so many hymns. I'm singing hymns like, your love is unconditional. But if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, he's going to send you to hell. That's a condition, my friend. That's a condition. If you don't believe in this guy, you won't make it. That's a condition. That's a condition. So your God doesn't love people unconditionally. And I don't even call God, in this book they called God a she and a he. It's just, he asks every single question about religion in this book. Sorry, I'm getting off topic, but what else does he it's just, look it up for yourself, man. Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. It's so broad. He talks about everything in this book. Mostly religion. He talks about how to make your life work. Money. Talks about money. I don't see nothing bad with money. See, I grew up thinking that rich people were evil. I grew up thinking that showing off your money is a bad thing. You know, that's what I grew up believing. I grew up in a religion that taught me to judge. A religion that says, thou shalt not judge. We judged everybody. We looked at the Muslims and said, The way they're living is wrong. Our way of living is right. You're judging. You're saying the way they're living is wrong. The way we're living is the right way. This is the right way. This is the only way. You're judging. See, this book says there's not one way. This book opened my mind so fucking much, man. It talks about sex. It talks about masturbation, man. It talks about everything, man. Everything, this book, dude. I love this book, man. It just made me... I used to not cuss, you know? I used to, before going over to a girl's house late at night, you know, I was always kind of close to God, but every time I'd go over to my chick's house or to a girl's house, you know, we're about to do the dirty, I always was quiet, you know, I didn't pray. But now, if I'm about to go see a girl, I ask God, I say, God, give me the stamina tonight, Father. Give me the power. I'm just saying, like, my relationship with God is much different after reading this book. I cuss like a fucking sailor, dude. I cuss, and I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't give a fuck, because my religion growing up said, if you use God's name in vain, if you use a cuss word, you're hurting God. That's what I grew up. This is what I grew up learning, that saying a cuss word is bad and you're wrong. Cussing is wrong. It hurts God. Let me tell you what this book taught me. Let me tell you how I truly feel inside. I don't believe in a fucking God who gets offended by a fucking word. You do, not me. I don't believe in a God who gets offended by a word. A mere word, not me, man. I don't believe in a God who judges. I don't believe in a God who acts like a human being. I really don't. This book opened up my mind. It opened up my heart. It showed me what I truly believed was okay. I'm not fucking too crazy, but this book changed my life, man. And for the first time, it was 2016, I was with my family in the Philippines, and who added me as a friend? I was with my family in the Philippines, and we were about to eat dinner, and this is like the third time they asked me to pray. My sister and my mom, they asked me to pray, and I kept saying no. I don't want to pray. I'm real, okay? I will say how I feel. I'm true to myself, and I simply said no. I don't want to pray, and they just blew up on me. They said, your spiritual life is bleeding. You don't want to pray. We're worried about you. Blah blah blah. They thought I was evil because I didn't want to pray. They thought I was like, I don't know. And I explained to them why I didn't want to pray. I said, I don't have to tell you or everybody in this table how thankful I am for this meal. I don't have to speak it. God knows what's in my heart. He knows what's in my mind. He knows how thankful I am. I don't have to sit here. It's all for show. I don't have to sit here and hold hands and say these big words and act like I'm this religious dude and I'm this like godly man. No, God knows exactly how I feel inside. He knows exactly how thankful I am for this food. I don't have to explain it to you. I don't have to show you how much I love God. And they just blew up on me, and I just told them all my beliefs. And this is the first time ever in my life where I did that with my family, and they didn't know what to say. I had a lot of points. They didn't know what to say about the God that I believed in. They were very offended. It was a spicy conversation. It was a big moment for me because it was the first time in my life when I expressed who I truly was around them. They're very traditional people. They're very religious. Guess what? I see nothing wrong with it. That's the difference between them and me. They point at what I believe in, and they pick at it, and they try to. They think they know all the answers. That's why I don't. That's why I don't share this book with people. Some people in some religions, they think they know everything. They think they know all the answers. There's nothing else to learn. This book says, man, there's always something to learn. Have an open mind, you know, an open mind, an open heart. But they point at what I believe in. They point at my beliefs, and they say the way you're living is wrong. You know, they'll pick at it. But if they believe in Jesus Christ, if they believe in hell, if they believe in everything the Bible says, I don't believe in the whole Bible. If they believe in everything word for word, guess what? This is what guess what? Good for them. If there's a preacher out here preaching the word of God, preaching the gospel, if it's coming from his heart, good for him, man. I'm all for it. That's not what I believe in, but if it's coming from his heart, good for him. See, that's the difference between them and me. They see me cussing. They see me. I mean, I treat people the way I want to be treated. I know many Christians who go preach the word of God on Sundays and then cheat on their wives Sunday afternoons and yell at their children. I don't care, you know. I don't care about what you believe in, what titles you have, if you're a pastor, if you're this and that. The best people I've ever met are Muslims and Buddhists. I actually worked for a furniture company, and the people who tip the most, the religions who tip the most are Buddhist and Muslim. And how do I know that? Because I look around their homes and I see a Buddhist. I see religion like idols, or I don't know. You can tell someone's religion just by walking in and seeing like the Buddha, or obviously the Buddha, or I'm trying to make it seem like I'm not stereotyping, but then I go inside a Christian's home, and then they got the kids, you know, and they got the big cross, and then they don't tip. They don't fucking tip. What's up? What the fuck is up with that? You know what I mean? The Buddhists tip, the Muslims tip, sometimes the Christians tip, but I noticed, if I could, I can say this, man, the Christians don't tip, okay? The Christians don't tip. If you want to get offended, get the fuck offended. Christians will get offended by this book. They will. I'm not Christian. I'm not religious. I believe in treating others the way I want to be treated. I believe in karma. I believe in God. If you don't believe in God, guess what? It's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. You know, I don't want to judge, and I don't judge. I practice not judging. I don't want to judge, and to judge is to say something's right, wrong, good, or bad. I can't judge that, and I won't judge it. Who am I to judge? You know, it talks about Jesus in this book. It talks about Moses in this book. It talks about the Bible. It talks about how sinning. There's no such thing as sin. There's no such thing as sin. Masturbation is not a sin. Okay, having sex is not a sin. This is all this shit that'll make people fired up, man. Make Christians fired up. Yeah, man. This why does it say there's no such thing as sin? This is why it says this. It says God's perfect. God is perfect. God created everything. God is perfect. A lot of Christians would believe that God is perfect. He's perfect. He is perfect. God is perfect. You're right. What's sin? Imperfection. Sin is when you fall short of the glory of God. So you're saying God, the mighty creator of everything, are you saying God's not perfect? He created, because God created sin. God created sin. I don't want to call it sin, but God created everything. And to say God created something imperfect, you're saying that you believe in an imperfect God. I believe in a perfect God who created everything the way it's supposed to be, man. I believe in, yeah. That's just it. This is a big thing for me to post this out here for the world to see, but I really want to share this book. I've shared this book with a girl. She comes from a church. She came from a church background. She's very confused about her faith and religion. She's very confused about it, and she saw me. We became friends, and when they know me, my friends, the people who know me, they see that I'm a genuine person. They see that I treat people the way I want to be treated. It's really simple. I'm a real dude, man, and I'm not out to hurt nobody. I'm not out to gossip. I'm just, the way I live is a product of this book, and she could tell that there's something up with me, and I said, and I got an extra book and I gave it to her, and she said it changed her life, it changed her way of thinking, and she had to read it very slow and reread it. Sometimes I'll go back over it. If you ever had any questions about God or questions about religion, and just knew there's something fucked up with religion, and you just knew there's something fucked up with people's beliefs, or there's something fucked up with your life and you want to make it better, read this book, baby. Read this book. It changed my life. I posted on Instagram about this book. It changed other people's lives too. Just by reading it, man. It's just to say, man, it's okay. The way you're living is okay. There's nothing wrong. You shouldn't be living in fear. I don't live in fear anymore. This book, it talks about how the devil is made up. There's no such thing as the devil. I don't live in fear, man. I used to live in fear. I used to be afraid of the dark, dude. Religion taught me to be afraid. Taught me to be afraid, dude. It's fear-based. What does Bob Marley say? Bob Marley said, "Love is my religion." Dude, this talks about everything. And what's cool about this is it's a small book. There's got 3 more of the books. I have 3: Friendships with God, Conversations with God, Book 2, Book 3, Friendships with God, Tomorrow's God, Happier God. I have it all by Neale Walsch, man. I love this dude. And it's a dialogue. So you're reading a dialogue. It's not like a traditional book. You're reading someone talking and then somebody answering, somebody asking questions and somebody answering. And God's answers in this book, it's just, I've never seen anything like it. Let me read a little bit something. Beingness attracts beingness and produces experience. You are not on this planet to produce anything with your body. You are on this planet to produce something with your soul. Your body is simply and merely the tool of your soul. Your mind is the power that makes the body go. So what you have here is a power tool used in the creation of the soul's desire. Who the fuck talks like that? God does, baby. Okay, this video is 20 minutes long. I just want to give this book, this review, a good review. Conversations with God, Neale Walsch. Check it out. Thanks for watching my video. It's 20 minutes long. If you watched it all the way through, thank you. Neale Walsch, if you ever see this someday, I just want to say thank you for your life, man. Thank you for living and writing this all down. I've gone through the same thing that you've gone through, coming from nothing. I didn't sleep in a tent or I didn't beg on the streets like you did, but I came up from being down low, being on the ground, being at the bottom, and the way you carried yourself out and kept the faith, you helped me. You helped me with this book, Neale Walsch, man. You helped me with the other books too. I watched your videos, and Neale Walsch, you weren't walking around on the streets anymore begging. You aren't living in tents anymore. He's doing mighty fine, man. He's holy, man, a holy man. Thanks for watching this. All right, guys, peace out. God bless. Keep it real. Keep reading. What else do I gotta say? That's about it, man. Alright, guys, peace out.